This big wagon is my truck. Let me show you what I've done to it. Now this lovely lady you're looking at me in right now is my 1970 Dodge D100 swepline long bed pickup truck. I know it's a mouthful, but I want to give you the proper information. I'm going to give you a little bit of a walk around it and show you what I've done. First things first, I want to give you a little bit of a backstory on how this beast come into my possession. I got into classic cars maybe a year ago and I bought a Buick Riviera. Now that's a whole nother story, but when I bought it, it was completely done. It was absolutely mint. And that was great, but the creative juices in me were flowing and I wanted to make something my own. So I took to Facebook and I found this for £8,000. Not in this condition, but I knew with a little bit of TLC and creativity from me, I could make it look absolutely pucker, as I think it does right now. So I'm 8,000 in at this point, and I want to spend about 2, maybe 3 at a push restoring it to a presentable condition. So first thing I did really was get the bodywork prepped, ready for paint. So I actually did this paint. It's my first ever paint job. I did it in my granddad's barn. It was very makeshift, and don't get me wrong, it is not perfect by anyone's standards, but when I polish it up and take it to shows and it's the right lighting, about 8 p.m, which is what time it is now, there's a reason for that, it looks all right. I think it looks well. It's shiny, it's a deep black, and I think, you know, considering it cost me about 200-300 quid in materials, and I did it myself, I'm happy with that. One of the main things I knew I needed with this truck was to get rid of the steel wheels. Don't get me wrong, they were all right, and I actually went with them for a little bit. So you're going to gather pretty quickly from watching this video that my framing and shot setup is just completely off. So throughout this whole clip where I'm talking about the wheels, basically all you can see is my mouth and not my eyes. But look, just give me a break. I'm learning and I'm trying my best. I'm sorry. I had steels like this with the center cap in chrome, and originally they were black and I painted them cream because I painted the bumper cream as well before I got that chrome one. But I'm always on Facebook Marketplace every single night. It's one of my pastimes, and I've seen these pop up for £200. Now anyone who knows will know that something like this for a full set brand new is going to set me back about 1,000. So for a drive, maybe an hour and a half, I had to go to Skegness to get them. Yeah, they were the perfect fit. Same bolt pattern, same back spacing, even though I did put spacers on it. This is on 25mm spacers front and back. Yeah, it makes such a big difference. It gives it just gives it a different look. It makes it look custom. It makes it look a bit more expensive and not like I've just painted some old dirty wheels. I guess that was the perfect tangent to talk about this beast. The chrome bumper. Like I said, originally I had a steel one, which was, it must have been original to the truck, but I painted it cream. It looked all right, but it looked a bit like an ice cream van. Does that make sense? The cream just weren't sitting right with me. And anyway, when I put it on, I noticed that it was bent. It'd obviously been in a little knock at some point, and it just drooped down to one side. And every time I took it to a show, people would be looking at it, but they'd always say to me, the bumper's off. So I couldn't live with it. Again, I went on Facebook looking for chrome bumpers. I seen this one. It's not even original to the truck. This is off a Chevy G20 1980 something. It's like a Chevrolet camper van. And I looked at the bolt pattern here and here, and I could just tell it was going to fit with my bracket. So I messaged the guy, got him to send me the details, cross-referenced it with mine, and lo and behold, it fit. Not only is this from a different vehicle, different brand, this is actually the back bumper from the Chevy truck. So I don't know how these things work, but somehow it always does work out. The final exterior upgrade I want to talk about is those. The twin side pipes. I seen a D100 online on Pinterest or something, and they had those pipes. Obviously they're not standard, but they looked and sounded absolutely sick. It just gives it that real mean muscle look, which is the look I was going for with the black and chrome. and the lettering on the tyres. Oh, I'm out of breath. So I took it to a place in Leicester called Powerflow Exhaust. Told him exactly what I wanted, showed him the reference photo, and I swear to God, I think I was gone for like, I left it with him for an hour and a half. Come back, whole new exhaust system fitted, and it was perfect. I was lying. This is the final thing on the exterior. This sticker, I really wanted these letters picked out, and I wasn't about to try and mask it off and paint it because I just knew it would go to shit. So I got this sticker online from an American website, can't remember the name, maybe it was just eBay. And I think I paid 60 quid delivered. Obviously a sticker doesn't weigh much. And yeah, it just sets it off. I won't tell you about how I misplaced this letter, had to pull it off and ripped all the clear coat off. Well, I just did tell you. But I won't go too into it. But other than that, the application was sound. So that brings me on to the best bit of this truck, in my opinion. The interior. When I got this truck, the interior was a mess. Like I say, this seat looked like a Rottweiler had got at it. There was rust everywhere. God knows what had happened in here, but it was just completely totaled. This was hanging off. There was no stereo. Yeah, it was just, it needed a full revamp. So I ended up getting this chair off of a website called B62 Upholstery, which is another American site. I can't remember what the woman's name was who I dealt with, but she was really friendly, helpful, and the seat itself, I couldn't be more happy with. It was a little bit pricey, but it's a custom piece, it's one-off, and I appreciate the time and the craftsmanship that's gone into this, and it's my favourite part of the truck, so no regrets at all. I want to just give you a close-up look at the interior because I'm so happy with how it turned out. All these bits here you see, it's just stuff off Amazon. I think I paid about 100 for this steering wheel, 20, 30 quid for the hub adapters. I got this little badge off of AliExpress. I know some people are going to critique me for these things because it's not period correct and, you know, it's a little cheap thing, but it looks good and people always compliment me on it. This chrome trim, this was actually from the Buick Riviera that I mentioned earlier. I had some old ones that I replaced, so this is one of the old ones. And I offered it up. I just looked at it one day and I thought, I swear that's the same length as the dash. And I offered it up and it's perfect. So many things like that have happened in this build. I painted all the interior like I did the outside. Painted the door cards brown to match with the steering wheel, and that little thing there, that's the handbrake, and that brown piece on the end of it is actually the grip from a bicycle. Again, an Amazon purchase. So it's little things like that, you just got to be creative because no one would ever know, and it really sets off the inside. An honourable mention as well, which a lot of people compliment this truck on, is these blue instruments. A lot of people think these are digital and I've had them replaced, but actually they're the originals. All I've done, took it out, took the cover off and put a clear blue film over the top just to give it that look. And I did the same thing on the shifter. I think it's about time now for the bit that everyone wants to see. What's underneath here? This is the 318 V8 small block. Now, let me just make this clear from the start. I'm not a car guy. I want to be, but I'm not a car guy yet. I don't think anyway. I don't know loads about engines or how to fix this thing or, do you know what I mean? I'm just giving it a go. I'm just a guy who's trying to get involved in this sort of whole scene. So give me a break if I'm doing stuff wrong or misspeaking or anything like that. But the case with the engine is pretty much the same case as the outside. I just made it look nice and presentable. That's not entirely true, I guess, because I did put a few parts on this that made it perform a lot better. You know, oil filter, fuel filter, air filter, new battery, all new hoses and all this stuff, spark lead wires, radiator hose. You know, it was all tatty and old. I just got some stuff that I thought were like sort of easy, cheap-ish performance upgrades. I guess. Not performance like make it fast, just make it run nice. But this is not perfect by any means, much like the outside. But when I pull up to a show, and if I occasionally pop the hood, American, people really love it and their jaws drop. And what more can I ask for about £200 worth of bits? I think that's all right. So something that I was really proud of with this whole build was the electrical side of it. Electrics is something that really intimidates me because it just looks mad. You know, when you look at all the wires and everything, like in that picture I attached earlier, it's really intimidating. You don't want to get things wrong, and it feels like if you do, it's such a huge thing to correct, but it really isn't. And I had a few friends give me like a little crash course and a tutorial, and I'd done a little bit on the Buick, just basic wiring and things like that. And when it comes to this truck, I had a few things I wanted to put in it. It didn't have any interior lights and a switch on the dash to control them. And a sound system's important to me. So I wanted to put a new head unit in, 2 door speakers. Obviously you can see one there. There's a speaker in the center there, which was standard. So were these in fact, but they were just broken. And something that wasn't standard in 1970 was a sub and an amp, which is under there. And the Pioneer head unit, Bluetooth, of course, in 2025, would you believe? So yeah, I just gave it a go, and lo and behold, it worked. First try, everything worked, and it's worked ever since. And it just made me think, like, you watch all these videos on YouTube and Instagram and whatever, of people doing these crazy builds, and you know, you can only sort of dream of it. And don't get me wrong, this is not a crazy build. This is basic. It's nothing. It's cheap. It's a dirty old truck, but to me, it means a lot. And I built it with my own 2 hands, and no one can tell me that, you know, I've been given anything or I've paid for it to be done. I've done all this stuff. I've painted it. I've done all the interior. I'm going on, but my point is, if you want to do something, just do it, because what's the worst that could go wrong? This has led me on to a hobby that I'm really passionate about, and I never thought I was going to get there when I bought that Buick a year ago. But now I'm here with this truck that I've fully restored myself. I love it. It doesn't cost me that much money to own, and when I sell it, if I sell it, which I don't want to, it'll probably make me some money. So yeah, take it as a lesson from me. If you want to do something, just do it. Right, now that I've finished getting emotional, there's one last thing we need to do, really. I'm gonna have to start it up. So I think that probably wraps it up, and it's getting a little bit dark, so I better go home. After watching a few of those little clips back in between filming the next one, that's not shut. Look good though, didn't it? I realised those birds were just incredibly loud. Obviously I've not got a YouTube studio, have I? It's my first video. I'm in the back of an industrial estate near the gym where I train. But bear with me, it's gonna get better. Yeah, that's all I've got to say on it. I'm going to finish up with an absolutely sick shot of me putting my foot down and giving it a bit of gas. But yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.